Hey, it's Mark, maakudesuyo. We're gonna go watch Shazam. Hey, it's Mark, maakudesuyo, and welcome to the first episode of SLOG. What the hell is SLOG? Well, it's a story log or a story vlog. I like watching film and anime, and sometimes I read manga, very rarely nowadays, but basically I like anything that involves a story, and that's why I'm uploading on YouTube, so you can see my stories, right? But I decided that I would start reviewing some film and anime and whatever story that I think of. These are gonna be a lot less edited, more off the cuff, off the top of my head, so pardon if this is too long or it gets really boring. A lot of it will just be me in this studio of mine, which is my room. So without further ado, let us begin with Shazam! Nothing happened. First of all, basic premise and plot of Shazam. There's this kid, his name is Billy. He gets lost. Yeah, he gets lost as a kid and he becomes an orphan. Is that the right term? Oh, I can't English. And he gets taken in by a family, and it's all about that stuff, and also the fact that he gets powers from this powerful wizard called Shazam, and every time he yells out Shazam, he becomes this powerful superhero with lots of abilities. I'm not very good at this summary thing. But let's move on to what I thought of this movie. I usually don't really expect that much from DC. Sorry to the DC fans, although I do love the Batman, Dark Knight series. Is that DC? Yeah, it's DC. I tend to prefer Marvel. I've seen a lot more Marvel stuff. I love Avengers. I love the Netflix Marvel universe, except for Iron Fist, but that's the story for another day. I came into this not really expecting much, but overall, I really liked it. Let's move on to the points as to what I liked about this movie. First off is the acting. Even though it's titled Shazam and a large part of the story is about Shazam the superhero, a lot of it actually revolves around an ensemble and also this kid, Billy Batson, and he is played by Asher Angel, who did a great job having this dynamic performance from this kid that's, trying to find his mom. Oh my god, I might give spoilers. Watch out for spoilers. He's trying to find out about his mom, trying to find out where his mom is, and not really trusting anyone, not caring about anything else, to a loving sibling and a kid, and really truly becoming a hero. Also, another brilliant performance was by the character Freddy, who is his foster brother, performed by Jack Dylan Grazer, who was also in It, which I haven't seen yet. But according to my sister, the kids in It are excellent at improv, and you could really show here how excellent he is at delivering comedic dialogue. And of course, Shazam, played by Zachary Levi, which is such an excellent choice, but I didn't expect it because I haven't really been following him, and he shows up in Shazam. I used to watch the series Chuck, really loved that series, didn't finish it, oops. If you think about it, Shazam is kind of like Chuck in terms of acting, because there's in Chuck, he's this regular person who suddenly gets a bunch of knowledge, essentially like a superpower, right? Compared to Shazam, who is just this kid, then suddenly he receives all of these incredible superpowers. It's such a parallel. So it's a perfect choice. The only problem was if you saw Zachary Levi then, he was quite skinny. But he did an excellent job at really getting so buff. Like, if you look at, the definition of a buff, it will show up Zachary Levi's face on there. And he's excellent at balancing out serious moments and comedic moments. And of course, the acting of the ensemble, the kids, the foster siblings, excellent, absolutely excellent work. They did great at delivering witty and comedic dialogue without feeling awkward about it. And as I kept on mentioning, comedic timing. This is actually kind of difficult. A lot of people mention that acting-wise and also making movies, it's probably more difficult to make something dramatic, to make someone cry, but I actually argue otherwise, that comedy is actually more difficult. At least more difficult to make a good comedy. Because not only do you have to have good dialogue and good writing, you also have to have great timing, great delivery of dialogue. And as I mentioned already, the actors in this did a great job. The writers were excellent. There was some really funny dialogue in this movie. And I was very pleasantly surprised because it tends to be that when I have watched some DC movies, they have been inserting some comedy in there, but it just it wasn't really that funny, or like it was in the wrong place. And that leads me to the next point, which is the tone. The overall tone of this movie was more balanced between heart and humor. Yes, I totally stole that from Rotten Tomatoes, but they say it so well. This movie has a lot of comedy into it, woven through really well with the dramatic scenes and the moments that are really supposed to emotionally captivate you. The comedic parts don't try to undercut it and stop it. Instead, those comedic elements are placed strategically. I don't know if I'm making sense, but all in all, basically, I mean, the comedic timing was spot on. And then lastly, I thought the theme was great, because a lot of the times when I watch superhero movies or any kind of movie or film or TV show where it's about a superpower, I really don't like it when it's like, I'm a villain versus I'm a hero. Okay, and then the villain is like, I will destroy the world or the universe, and then the hero's like, I will stop you. I mean, is that it? Like, that's it? I mean, like, you guys have so much money in Hollywood to just make such a basic plot. But this one, if you take away the powers, it's just a basic story of a kid finding a home, finding his family, and discovering what it really is like to feel the love of a family in a home. I think this theme runs all the way throughout the movie and is extremely clear. You will feel that really is the focus, and therefore they actually didn't focus so much on the superhero stuff. And that's, I think, why they were able to make the superhero stuff and the overall humorous tone, the humorous element in this movie. Now, what did I not like? Well, overall, I mostly like this movie. So what is something that I didn't like as much? And that would be kind of the backstory of the villains. I tend to like it when a superhero movie has like a villain that the audience can kind of relate to. That the audience could be like, wait, I kind of support his pain. Like, I'm kind of okay if he does win. But in this case, the villain is just your regular villainous person. There is sort of an element that they explain where he was kind of bullied and stuff, and so there's a bit of element of revenge. That is typical villain stuff, and it wasn't made like focused on. And also the 7 deadly sins, the little gang that he had, they also didn't kind of focus on, well, why are they trying to obtain Shazam's powers? Like, why? Like, why? That's kind of a curiosity as well. But I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just kind of like, if they had added that element, it would add like a little extra bit of complexity, and the audience can maybe relate to it more. And the more the audience can have this moral confusion, ethical confusion, they might like the movie more of a adventure. So now let's go on Rotten Tomatoes and try to guess what the score is. I give this movie an 85%-ish range. Let's see what Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, said, the critics, and also the audience score. The tomato meter gives it 90%. Okay, 5% higher than mine, and I tend to have like plus minus 5% in terms of how I judge movies compared to the tomato meter, which I like. I like how the critics think here. And that was with the reviews counted were 329, and the audience score was 88%, and that was pretty close to the tomato meter and still higher than mine. I guess I'm just a little bit, I'll look for more things in a movie, I guess. I don't know. It's a bit, I mean, I really did like it a lot. User ratings, 7,597. It's a lot, and that said 88%. That's almost an A-. Good for Asian kids, but it's almost not good enough for Asian moms. So, hopefully you guys liked this first slog review of Shazam. You guys can't stop me. I'm gonna keep making more of these. And if you have suggestions on movies or anime that you want me to review, leave it in the comments section below. Go watch some stories. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. Johnny.